The police in the UK have arrested Jewish Labour Movement chair Ivor Kaplan for pedophilia. This is a huge catch. He's no ordinary person. A group which seeks to hunt pedophiles in the UK caught him on camera seeking to engage in sexual communication with a child. As I said, Ivor Kaplan is no ordinary person involved in child grooming activities. He was a Labour MP from Hove in Brighton between 1997 and 2005 for 2 terms. He then became the Assistant Government Whip in 2001 before becoming a junior Defence Minister and Minister for Veterans at the Ministry of Defence. Kaplan had previously served in the British Army. Ironically, those who caught him through a sting operation are also former British veterans. The Sussex police have confirmed his arrest. The police was quoted as saying, "We are aware of footage circulating on social media showing a man in Brighton being detained on suspicion of engaging in sexual communication with a child. Officers can confirm that a local 66-year-old man was arrested on Saturday, January the 11th, and currently remains in custody. This is an ongoing and active investigation." End quote. Now, videos of Kaplan being confronted by a group of ex-military veterans surfaced last night.
You told this child that you was going to go and meet him.
That wasn't because Stephen will be at work.
At 1 o'clock, you said that you was going to go and meet him at quarter to.
If we could. I don't know, trains, etc.
Yeah, you see.
I don't know.
But wait, but here's the slippery thing. You said you had no intention, but now you concede that actually, yeah, I might have been planning to take this child to meet Stephen. So you admit that that's what you were trying to do.
I don't know his age.
You know his age accurately. This child regularly.
If I knew his actual age,
this
and
child.
I didn't know that, then I wouldn't do anything. Obviously.
This child regularly told you that they were at school and they were doing school-related activities.
Yeah, but that's not the same as knowing age. I have never. I want to ask him what his age is, and I've never done that.
Yes, you did.
No, I have never done that.
Of course.
No, I have never done that. So I want to ask that question.
You've asked that question. I've read it. Clear and simple terms.
Anyway.
You know exactly how old this child was.
And you wanted this child to bring other children.
No.
So that you could abuse more than one child.
No.
You used to be you used to be a veterans minister, didn't you?
That never happened.
Did you? Yeah, we're all veterans, and do you know what? It makes me absolute sick that you had anything to do with our armed forces.
I haven't done anything. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to do that.
To do what? You're not going to do what? Going to do what?
I was going into town.
What don't you understand? The reason you are not taking this child to have sex with them... No, stop it. The reason you are not meeting this child to have sex with them is because we've turned up.
No, I wasn't going to have sex.
Well, why have you told this child that that was what your plan was then? Black and white, it's your words.
Have you shown the image?
Yes, I've shown you the image.
And then there was another video showing him being arrested.
That's his bag as well, that's a bottle of water. So I told you to get your bottle of water back.
And sweets.
Right, I'm just going to search you before we go in there, okay? How many layers have you got underneath
There's
this?
the sweets in there as well.
3.
Oh, that's smuggy. The sweets in the bag as well.
There's nothing, there's no bottles. That's my phone.
And what are we doing, okay, is I am going to be seizing your phone at 12:38, okay? And for the purpose of that is, I believe it holds evidence on that device. Okay, so I'll place it in evidence bag.
As well as being a head of the Labour Party's Jewish Labour movement, Kaplan was believed to be a leading figure. This is very, very important. He was a leading voice in the ouster of Jeremy Corbyn on fake charges of anti-Semitism. Clearly, he is seen denying charges of grooming children in the video, but the development has come as a big blow to thugs like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, a known crook, Just because he's a billionaire, we should not start adoring him. He is a crook. And he has been running a nasty campaign to malign a particular community and race and a religious group. British Pakistanis and Muslims in this case. He has been accusing them of being involved in child grooming activities. I have very strong views on this topic. I think anyone found to be involved in exploiting children for sexual activities should face the capital punishment. No ifs, no buts. But to label a particular race for such crimes when evidence shows otherwise is not only disingenuous but criminal too. Musk is no saint. He is a criminal who's been busy stoking violence using fake news on his platform X to create political and social unrest in key European countries like the UK and Germany. Last year, when the Southport violence started, he used all his energy to peddle fake news to demonize Muslims when Muslims had nothing to do with the violence. He is also an ardent supporter of Germany's far-right group AfD. Are you surprised? And he thinks only AfD can take Germany to greater heights. As I said, as much as I detest these criminals and want capital punishment for them, all evidence shows that British Pakistanis aren't the dominant racial group involved in the child grooming activities. Listen to this expert.
There should be a specific inquiry into Pakistani grooming gangs across the UK.
I think there should be a specific inquiry into all grooming gangs.
Absolutely.
Pakistani grooming gangs comprise a very small amount of the grooming gangs and child sex abuse in this country.
50 towns up and down the country.
Most child sex abuse is sadly by men who are white and within families. That's the sad reality. But we need an investigation into the grooming gangs, absolutely. But what distresses me is that Professor Alexis Jay did a 7-year inquiry, 7 years, and she did look at grooming gangs, among other issues, and she came up with some fantastic recommendations, none of which were acted upon by the Conservative government. The number one issue has got to be that it's a criminal offence for a professional as a teacher or a social worker to fail to identify and report abuse.
Are you not concerned when you see the scale of the problem when it comes to what is specifically going on in the Pakistani communities around the north of England? Are you not there's a pattern there?
Yeah, I'm absolutely concerned about it, but I want to caveat, this is not, we should in no way blanket brand the whole Pakistani community. It's a tiny, unrepresented minority who are condemned by other Pakistani people. And we should focus on the other grooming gangs.
A report by the UK Home Ministry shows that more than 44% of those involved in child grooming activities in the UK are whites. But does that mean that you start blaming the whites? The entire race? No! A report by Centre of Expertise on Child Sexual Abuse also confirms this. According to the CSA, Asians make up 9% of the total population in England and Wales, but they form only 7% of total child sexual abuse cases. Pakistanis comprise 2% of the population, and they form only 2% of total child abuse cases. Whites, on the other hand, are 83% of the population in England and Wales, but their involvement in child sexual abuse cases is a whopping 88%. I would still not call it a race-related issue. Giving a race a label would be disingenuous to those tens of thousands of victims. If you want justice for those victims, seriously, if you're serious about giving them justice and you want to ensure that no more child falls victim to these gangs, you have to go to the root of the problem. The only reason why the parliament spent more than an hour discussing this issue last week was because this thug called Elon Musk raised the topic for political reasons and to project criminal Tommy Robinson in a positive light. This is what money can do these days. I still can't get my head around as to why Parliament discussed this topic last week. What was the context? The BBC, which has lost its editorial conviction anyway long ago, it too decided to join the bandwagon. It simply couldn't use its wisdom to decide editorial merit. In the end, I want to ask this. Would this thug called Elon Musk now blame whites and Jews for child grooming activities now that Ivor Kaplan has been arrested by the police? I would still not blame whites or the Jewish community because I'm not a bigot like the Elon Musks of this world. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should become part of it. The details are in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism.